Hey everybody, this is Mr. Ainsworth. Let's greet each other properly. Good morning to you. Let's get started here on a little prep here in MRWC. I'm Mr. Ainsworth, of course, and we are going to do a little prep and to get you guys ready for an activity on 2B5, okay? And you're looking at it right here on the screen. The activity is on the right, and our little prep's on the left. So get your spiral out and work with me here. So our goal is activity 2B5 here in MRWC is to given 0, the placement of 0 and some rational number like 2/5, as you'll see in number 1, find the value of x. Okay, find the coordinate point x on the number line below, given some information like where is 0 and where is 2/5. What should that rational function be? All right, so let's do an example here. Okay, we'll do a couple of them. So let's draw a number line here. So let's take a look at a specific example here. So let's draw a number line here, and let's place a couple values on the number line. Okay, so let's place 0 on the number line here, and I'm going to go 4 units to the right. So make sure when you draw this, you do it correctly here. So go 4 units to the right, and let's say I say that's given to be 2/7. Okay, and 2/7 is 4 equal units to the right. Okay, so make sure when you go through this with me that you draw the correct graph, because you have to understand it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go from 2/7, we're going to count out 8 equal units to the right, just for funsies. It doesn't matter how many, but I'm going to pick 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and let's say that we want to figure out this unit. And our goal in this first one here is to find the coordinate of x. Okay, what should x be on the number line? Let's put a question mark there. What should that be? I don't know. I mean, you have to know what this is. Okay, so you have to know what one increment is. What is that distance? Given that 2/7 is 4 equal units to the right, what would this increment be? Or you could figure out this, right? What is the distance between 2 increments? Okay, so let's go back to what we know. Okay, so what we do know is that 4 units on this number line represents a distance of 2/7. I do know that. Okay, and there's different ways to approach this, by the way, so we'll approach at different angles. So if I know that that distance is 2/7, I know that half of that distance, okay, half of 2/7 is 1/7. So I know that this distance right here should be 1/7, right? Because a half of 2/7 better be 1/7. So right now I know that this is 1/7, which is kind of nice. So what we could do is we could count by 1/7. So every 2 units is 1/7. So 0, 1/7, count every 2 spaces or every 2 units is another 7. So 1/7, 2/7, this should be 3/7. All right, 4/7. All right, 5/7. All right, and guess what? This should be 6/7. All right, so that's one way you can approach this. So I found x. Now, if it's a little bit more challenging, it could be. All right, let's suppose that we have to find not only x, but let's find y too as well. So let's call this y right here. All right, so plot y. What would y be? What would that be? All right, we know that every 2 units is 1/7, but what is this distance between, what is the 1 unit equal to? All right, so what is half of 1/7? What is that? We know that every 2 units is 1/7, but what's a half of a 7th? That, my friends, is what you have to compute. So let's do that. Let's do some simple arithmetic. We got to take a half of 1/7. Well, when you do that, you multiply. All right. When you take a half of 1/7, you multiply it by half, and then 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 7 is 14. So the 1 unit is actually 1/14. All right. So this distance is 1/14. That's the first division. So you could count by 14ths. So 1/14, 2/14. It's probably the easiest way to do it. 3/14, 4/14, which is the same as 2/7, 5/14, 6/14, 7/14, 8/14, 9/14, 10/14, and so y must be 11/14. All right, so I know that y is 11/14. So I found x. X is 6/7. I did that first. Okay, right here, right there. All right, x is equal to the 6/7, and I found y is 11/15, given the placement of 0 and given 2/7. So what we started with, okay, again, I started off with 0. I know where 0 is. And I start off with 2/7, and then we had to figure out what x had to be given that information. And that's what this whole activity is about. Like, given the placement of 0 and some rational number here on the number line, you know, find x. It says right here, find the point x on the number line below. Just read the directions right through here. Okay? And that's what the whole idea is. And again, it doesn't rely upon anything more than simple mathematics. However, you got to get a little creative. All right? Okay, let's try another one here. So let's suppose we are on the other side of 0. So let's draw a new number line here, and let's try another one. Okay. Okay, so let's go down here. Problem number 2. Let's draw a number line. Okay, so this is going to be number 2, and I'm going to change up the information right now. So now let's come over here, place 0 somewhere in the middle here, and instead of going 4 units to the right, let's change it up a little bit. Let's go 5 units to the right, because that's going to change everything. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and let's plot 2/7 here. Okay, so now we have a different scenario, because now this is 5 units to the right of 0 and not 4. So this is a different problem. Yeah, now let's suppose that x is to the left of 0, you know, so it's got to be some negative number. So let's go 6 units to the left just for funsies here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and let's plot x there. And then again, on number 2 here is we got to find the unknown, right? All right, so find x. So given 0 and 2/7, find the unknown. So now what we need to do is, in a similar fashion here, we need to figure out what this distance is right here. We don't know what that is. But we do know that this distance from 0 to 2/7, we do know that that distance is equal to 2/7. And because it's been divided into 5 equal parts, we need to figure out what 1/5 of 2/7 is. All right, so we need to find, all right, 1/5 of 2/7. Oops, 2/7. Got to figure that out. Well, guess what? You just simply multiply, as I was saying earlier. So 1/5 of 2/7 is equal to 1 times 2 is 2, 5 times 7, 35, and it's equal to 2/35. So the 1 unit on this graph right here is 2/35. This is one way you could approach it, because once you find the distance of what's called 1 unit on this graph, or the distance between the grid lines right here, and then you can figure out what x is. You just count backwards. Okay, so this is going to be obviously equal to, if you go count backwards here, negative 2/35, and you count backwards. And that's all you do. All right, and you just go for it. So negative 2/35, negative 4/35, negative 6/35, negative 8/35, negative 10/35, and negative 12/35. So I know that x equals negative 12/35. Okay? And that, my friends, is how it's done. You got to find the distance between the grid lines first by using basic arithmetic. All right, so this distance right here is found by taking the distance that we were given between 0 and 2/7, which was divided into 5 equal parts. So we take 1/5 of that number, 1/5 of 2/7, which gives us 2/35, and then simply count backwards. And that, my friends, is how it's done on this simple lesson. Okay, so in this activity here that you're going to be working on, in activity 2B5 in MRWC. So this is MRWC, and of course I'm Mr. Ainsworth here at Great Oak High School, GOHS for short, in the Temecula Valley. All right, you take your information here and you figure out what it is to be 1 unit in length, the distance between the grid lines, and then you go from there. Okay? So give that a shot in your group. Okay, if you're at home, give it a shot on your own, submit it in Canvas. If you're here at Great Oak High School with me, then we're going to do it in groups, and then of course we'll present and check. All right? That's all there is to it. I'll see you in my next activity. Bye-bye now.